But speaking of Batman, the first game we're going to talk about is WB Montreal's Gotham Knights.
Was that the first thing scheduled in?
No, the first thing scheduled in was Wonder Woman 1984. So we'll get to that when we're talking about the films. But it was the very second thing. So very early on, I was like, oh, cool. We're like, I'm not going to have to wait too long to see something that I'm particularly interested in. So we're going to assume anyone who's listening has watched the trailer. You can, of course, go and watch the trailer on YouTube if you haven't. But we're doing this on the assumption that people have seen the stuff we're talking about.
And even if you haven't, I mean, nothing at the moment. Everything's just going to be speculation.
Yeah, it's not like
not really
spoiling.
spoil.
No,
you
no.
can't spoil anything.
It's all about premise and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But come to you first, Eric. What were your thoughts on Gotham Knights? Did you have any hopes going in, and then how did you feel about it after you've seen it?
I didn't really I knew Warner Bros. Montreal was making something, but I didn't know what the hell it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have hopes oh, I hope it's like this, or I hope I play as this character, or blah blah blah. I didn't know. I just saw Gotham Knights and I was like, okay, well, fair enough. Either I'm fighting a bunch of knights in Gotham, or I'm playing as multiple characters. That was kind of my idea when I saw the title. Clicked on it, watched the trailer, see you're playing as either Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, and Red Hood. And I was like, okay, this is very cool. And the premise of the trailer that it set up, I was like, this is even cooler. I'm liking where this is going.
Yeah.
Then I watched the gameplay. Obviously, there was a few little frame rates and a few little bugs, but it was pre-alpha.
Yes.
So obviously expect that sort of stuff. Because I know some people were giving out about it and everything. About the look and everything. And they were saying this is just too Arkham Knighty. And it's like, yeah, but at least you're familiar with it, I think. It's not too different that you're a bit what the hell? Mm-hmm. Even there was actually one of the comments was someone saying oh my god, we didn't even ask for this game. I kind of thought to myself, do you ever really ask for a new fresh game?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you want till it comes out.
Yeah, like the new Doom. Did anyone really ask for that new Doom? No, but it was fucking great. So bring it on. But I have hopes for it. I think it looks good, especially it's not purely online, but that's an option. The fact that we could all play together and we could take out the all the enemies and stuff.
But we can't all.
Oh, is it only two?
Only two.
Sorry, Adam.
No, sorry, Adam. Which actually I was happy about, because when it first basically made out that it's going to be just a multiplayer component to it online, I was like, oh no, not the 4 people on screen all together. Too much craziness. The fact that it caps at 2 and you can do it at any point in the story, I was like, okay.
Kind of remind me of the Lego games. Drop in, drop out co-op.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Looks fun, and then the different skills that each character has, and just that you get to play as Red Hood. Fucking awesome. Play as Red Hood, kicking ass. So, they're not the best graphics in the world, and there's still some work that has to be done with it.
Well, it's tied. It's still tied to this gen, you see. It's coming out for PS4
yeah,
as well.
it's coming out PS4 as well. Yeah. So when you think about it that way, I mean, on the PS4, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You know, when you think about it that way.
It's cross-generational.
Yeah, I do think it looks really good though. It was a bit more, and I was especially happy considering there's a trailer and a gameplay trailer. So the trailer gives you the tone and the setting of the game, and then the gameplay shows you what it's going to look like when you're playing and how it feels and everything, which is good. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah. How about you, Adam, then? How did you feel about Gotham Knights? Did you have any thoughts going in before?
Thoughts going in. I wasn't expecting much from it. I know this sounds really bad, but because I knew the studio that was making it, I kind of felt like this was just going to be a side project.
Okay.
And I think it is. So okay. I don't think I'll be getting it.
Wow.
Traitor.
Well, it's just that they said. Well,
I got it's only 2-player.
Yeah, there you go. You see play. Yeah, I'm not really interested in the gameplay. I'm not interested in the premise. I'm really sick of this Court of Owls story arc. I really am.
Okay, that's interesting.
They only showed up once. Okay.
Yeah.
No, what I mean is that. What do you mean it only showed up once?
Oh, yeah, they showed up twice. Once in comics and then once in TV.
Yeah, but that story arc is because it's so kind of
Recent?
fresh.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's quite a recent thing that it's almost like there's so much other stuff to explore, and it's not like there's not much you can do with that story arc, I think. Now, I think there's gonna be more than just the Court of Owls, but
Oh yeah.
the fact that they just brought that in, I'm just like, there's so much more they could do, I think. And I'm a little concerned about that gameplay then, because we recently just played the Avengers beta, and it's kind of similar.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar. And I'm not talking about just like the drop in, drop out, and it's the fact that it's an RPG.
The
I don't
delete
know if
system and everything.
I don't really want a Gotham-based RPG. Like I don't like the Arkham games for its RPG mechanics. I like we said this before. It's the kind of Metrovania style stuff. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
So it didn't really appeal to me, and then they came out and said that it's not it's not canon. It's not part of the Arkham verse.
No,
so
it's not part of the Arkham universe. It's a
so
separate.
it's a bit kind of like, so why then?
Um.
Which is weird because it's kind of continuing.
Okay. So when they first announced it, because I actually leading up to it, I thought it was going to be a prequel. I thought it was going to be set between Arkham Origins and Arkham Asylum, and it was going to be Batman maybe meeting Robin for the first time, like bringing him into it. I knew it was going to be the Court of Owls because they teased that for a long time. Like the Court of Owls thing has been teased for ages. It was like the first thing they revealed. They revealed that they were in Court of Owls before they even said what this game actually was. So everyone knew the Court of Owls were going to be in it. It wasn't really a big surprise. I'm happy with it. I don't mind it. I think the Court of Owls is a really good story. I think if you're aware of the Batman comic side of things, you're very aware of those characters, but I think there's a huge audience that don't know them. So I think they're going to be a surprise for those people. They're not as well known as the likes of the Joker or the Riddler. They're not that well known in that way. So I think there's a lot of potential for a good story there. When it started, I thought it was a continuation of Arkham Knight, and I was super excited because I was like, oh shit, that's bold. That's bold what you're doing there now. If you're going to continue on. And it could be. I don't know why it's not. In a way, I wish it was. Because in a way, I was like, why don't you do that? Because it takes... I'm saying this with absolute love and admiration for the Joker. But it does take the Joker out of the equation. Is there really any point in doing another version of the Joker in this game? Maybe. Like, you're never going to say no to the Joker. But at the same time, it does give room for these other villains that you could build a game around. But yeah, I thought it was... when I started off with that message and that he was dead, and then I saw Jason Todd, and I was like, that doesn't seem right because he didn't look like that, and also he wouldn't be in the loop. And then it said Jim Gordon was dead, and I was like, okay, that's definitely not right. And then of course they came out and said it's not part of the Arkhamverse.
And Barbara's like walking.
She's walking around. So there's things about it that I would have preferred some little tweaks and changes. But overall, I'm actually pretty excited for it. I really like the look of it. Seeing the gameplay in particular, like the trailer was fine. The premise is fine. And there were some bits that were a little bit cheesy. I was like, I don't know about the neon light fucking bat symbol things. I'm not really into that. But then seeing the actual gameplay when Batgirl was on the bike, journeying through, heading towards this big cinematic looking storm machine, they've come out and said that's only halfway through Mr. Freeze's campaign, which is not necessarily the full story. So I'm like, that's not even like a climax. That's that's just a part of a story. I'm like, okay, cool. So this game might have really big cinematic moments inside the I didn't like the life bars above the heads. I'll agree with that. I don't particularly like that. But they came out and said it. They came out and said it's an action RPG. So then I was like, okay, maybe I should start thinking about this like Final Fantasy VII Remake set in Gotham.
Sure.
Okay, I can get around with that. That's fine. It's like, but I'm not controlling the party members. A friend can do it. That's pretty interesting. I just hope that the single player experience is as strong. Like, I just hope the single player experience hasn't been sacrificed to allow for a multiplayer.
Yeah, and I suppose that's something that I'm. Yeah, because whether it's like co-op or not, I think once you make it an RPG, what makes RPGs great is the balancing of your stats and upgrading your character and playing progression, right? That's what makes RPGs fun. Like we're playing, well, Yusuf cleared it, but I'm playing like Ghost of Tsushima, for example, right? It's not
Adam will
necessarily.
never finish it.
I'm definitely will never finish this game. I think I've clocked. I think it's like 55 hours now.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I've foxes, will you?
I can't help it. I've like 5 left to complete. 5 more foxes to get.
Okay.
Anyway, but what's fun about that is discovering and learning about the area and finding new weapons and all that kind of stuff. But with the Arkham games, we've done that. We've had 4 games of that. We've had 4 games of exploring this city. And that to me is what RPGs are good for. They're generally not great for story. Now, I feel like they will have a good story and they'll have good cinematics. They've proven that with Origins that they're able to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're just a casual player, is it friendly to you? If you're just in it for the story, is it friendly to you? Because the other games have been.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Like I suppose they showed there's some stuff that has transferred over from the Arkham gameplay. That's familiar, like grappling and like some of the traversal looked very familiar. Some of the stealth takedowns looked familiar. I think in the combat, what's different is you don't have those counter icons, right?
Yeah.
But it still looked like you can counter and martial art fight people. So the life bars look different, of course, and that's kind of weird. Like, and seeing a little number above that, I'm not particularly into that. Mr. Freeze with a freeze minigun thing though looked fucking sick. I liked the way his weather machine was freezing the place, and there was like I thought the visuals were really cool.
Yeah, it's an impressive looking game.
Yeah, I tell you what excited me the most, seeing a Gotham City with people in it.
Yeah.
Seeing people driving around, see people running around. I'm interested in seeing more of the gameplay in a city that's living and breathing. That maybe people are afraid of you, or maybe you have to, like, I don't know, win people over sometimes. Maybe there's like crimes in progress in places, but they're actual people and not just, I don't know, political prisoners.
I wonder would there be a balance
interesting.
then? Because if you're playing as Batwoman, Robin, or Nightwing, you could be helpful. But if you're the Red Hood, I mean, that dude kills people. He's got guns.
Yeah,
Like, is there going to be a balance of?
I think this version doesn't. It looks like he's using
those
stun
guns just like they just shoot.
possibly. Maybe
They
they're
shoot
like,
love and kindness.
Yeah.
they shoot you a hugs, man.
Yeah.
That's all criminals want. This is a good friendly hug.
He's
Just to
actually
know they're wanted.
He's actually the Red Hug. To me it would have been really interesting to carry on from Arkham Knight and not to have Red Hood like front and center as a playable character, but having that as a story arc of chasing down Jason and them all having different feelings towards him after what he did.
Definitely, yeah,
So
and
like
trying to win him over.
Someone like, no, we gotta take him down after what he did to Barbara and Bruce, and it's someone else going, no, but like Bruce would want us to, like, he's still in there and he needs our help more than that would have been a really cool story thing.
It boggles my mind why it's not a continuation, because it starts off with essentially the story of the end of the last game.
Like it should be, because you could still, most of the Batman villains are alive in the Arkhamverse. So and there's plenty more that weren't used. So you still have. So I wonder why they didn't, because to me it makes a lot of sense, and it's an interesting reason then why you would pick up all the sidekicks as the characters. It's like, well, if Batman's gone, and the only way to bring him back is to go backwards, but that's what everyone expects. Why don't we go forwards and fucking do something no one expects? I would have been super interested in that. And also, you could still have Batgirl in there, because they could have brought in the Cassandra Cain version of Batgirl and have Oracle still as your point of command. Like, I think it would have been great to play as Cassandra Cain. But we're getting into nerdy fucking shit there. I'm more interested in the game than I am disinterested.
I hope it is good. Like, of course, I'll check it out when you two get it inevitably. But yeah, I hope it is good.
Well, here's the other thing: when more comes out, either of us could change our minds.
Yeah.
Any of us could. Like, it was pre-alpha gameplay that we saw, and it's still early days, and anything could happen between now and when it releases.
Yeah, but I think it's enough to kind of, because I remember when the Avengers kind of was announced, I was all in for that. Like I thought, like
Yeah, I was too.
I'm all
I
about
actually
that.
wasn't.
But Jesus Christ, lads, playing it.
But that's what I mean, though. Anything can kind of, do you know what I mean? You could change. Like I thought, oh, well, that looks incredible, and they've got like the Avengers voice cast as well. Fucking hell. What I mean by that is like in the voice acting world, they are like the fucking Avengers of the voice acting world. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Wow, what a perfect build, and yet it's not looking good. And I've only heard bad things, which is really sad. I kind of hope this isn't like that.
I hope not as well, but just by looking at it, I think the gameplay and combat will be way better. I'm more worried about how the missions are structured. How do you go from one to the other? Is it like, what order does it work in? Like, is there can you do any in any order? Then how does that work?
I tell you as well, I'd be more worried if like one of the things that is putting me off the Avengers game, for example, and I don't want to compare them too much because still neither of them are actually out yet.
Yeah.
But with Avengers, you have different maps and you choose a map to do a mission, right? They have said that this is an open world Gotham. And so an open world Gotham that's an RPG, I'm like, I mean, I can get behind that. I can get behind traversing an open world Gotham, and then maybe when you go back to base, you swap character or so. I don't know how they're going to do the swapping characters thing, but yeah, I'm kind of in for it. I do wish it was a continuation of Arkham. That's kind of my only, and I think it could be. I don't see why it's not. Like,
yeah, it is a bit.
Very
it's not a
easy
choice.
to do it. Do you think Batman's dead?
Nope.
No. Not even for a second do I think he's dead.
Nope.
When's the game being released?
Next year.
Do you know what month they're ending or season?
I don't think they give it. No.
Because if it's like April, it's like April Fools. Batman's not dead.
Yeah.
Well, they normally release around Halloween, don't they? So.
Yeah, I would imagine. I would think that if it's earlier in 2021, they'd nearly have a month at least attached to it. Because they don't, it would say to me it's going to be the latter half.
Yeah, and it's true. The Court of Owls kind of looked like they were going to be creepy in it from the trailer.
Yeah, you see, that was the thing as well. I like whether people are interested in Court of Owls or not. Like there was kind of a neon look and kind of like electronic music, and I was like, this looks a bit, I don't know, like teenagers hanging out kind of thing. I'm not really into it. And then as soon as they showed the Court of Owls, they had a little girl saying the rhyme, and they kind of did an attempt at a jump scare. You know, it's not a jump scare, but they kind of had a creepy thing going on, and they showed like creepy imagery of all the coffins in a tunnel and everything. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, cool. There's going to be some kind of dark Gotham kind of shit in here.
This game has just become Riverdale or something. My God.
Yeah. So I'm for it. I wonder, is Bruce Wayne, did he fake his death, or are they going to have him resurrected as a Talon that you have to fight later on or something fucking crazy like that? I don't know. But I do not think he's dead.
No, I don't think he's dead.
Do you, Eric? You didn't even answer. Do you think he's dead? Do you think they're really going for it and he's dead, or?
Nah.
Oh.
Nah, it's April Fools, man.
So I don't even think in the Arkhamverse he's dead. But that's another thing. I think the ending basically said he wasn't, but people interpret it differently. I suppose it's kind of an artistic ending in a way.
That ending I never got because those Riddler trophies were fucking annoying.
You watch it on YouTube, man.
Yeah, I did watch it on YouTube at the end, but it's just not the same. I 100% did all the other games except that one. I was very annoyed.
That's our take on Gotham Knights. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, do jump into the comments to let us know what you think of Gotham Knights. And if you're listening to us, get in touch on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, @TheBrothersTake. Do let us know what you think of Gotham Knights. Are you looking forward to it? Are you disappointed by it? Do you wish it was in the Arkhamverse? Are you happy it's not? Let us know.